We're back, folks. Dwayne,
Yes, sir.
what you got cooking? Well, I got something I want you to comment on.
All right.
Fentanyl deaths in the Biden administration 4 years. Between 280,000 and 350,000.
That's probably right.
Yeah.
That's feasible.
This is an amazing thing.
Yeah, it is amazing. It's also mind blowing that you take an item or a drug like fentanyl, and there's nobody out there, no druggie out there that doesn't know at that point this stuff will kill you. But it's what they want. They want the strongest stuff that they can
Is
get.
that living on the edge?
That is living on the edge. That's just denying fact. You know, I read, or I think it was a book. I don't remember anymore. It's been several years, but drug dealers will take a product, and of course, you know, they cut it with different stuff to make more money on it. But they started to brand their stuff, and now they all do. They put it in a package, and it might have a star on it, or it might have a letter, or A, or I want the one with or with a rooster on it, or the horse on it. And if somebody died the night before through an overdose, say it was heroin, with one with a rooster, a package with a rooster on, the next few nights that rooster sales went up, way up.
Wow.
You'd think that, like the book said, you'd think that
stock
would go down.
Yeah.
Oh no, they want the strongest stuff they can get because most of them don't believe that they're ever going to go in an OD. It's just going to be a great high.
Have you seen On Patrol lately?
Oh, yeah, well, I saw it Saturday night. I slept through most of it Friday. No, I wasn't home Friday night.
I saw an episode some time ago when they were shown bringing one of these ODs back to life, pushing
with the Narcan.
Yeah.
Stuff. Yep.
And they got him, so he was sitting up, and then they showed him loading him in the ambulance. And so the talking heads said, well, that happened 2 nights ago. Last night, they found him dead on the street.
Do it right again.
Of an OD.
Okay, go right back.
Right back to it.
Yep. It's something that we can't understand. We don't understand. We don't know why. It's because the brain and addictions and those pheromones or whatever they're called is so strong. Well, I had a taste of that because I used to smoke. I smoked nicotine, cigarettes. And you'd think, well, why don't you just stop? Just don't buy any more, throw them away. It gets to the point where you start getting a nicotine craving, or you're just getting down where, your brain was used to getting that hit. And then pretty soon you couldn't think of anything else but having a cigarette. You were just totally distracted. It was like you couldn't breathe, or you couldn't do this, you couldn't do that. You could not get away from it. And it just pounded you and pounded you and pounded you, and pretty soon you break down and go buy a pack of cigarettes. And I know I shouldn't have done it, but I did it several times. It took me 6 months to quit.
I had a friend of mine who I worked with, the Foxborough Company, had a heart attack.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And the doctor said to him, you've got to stop smoking. And he said, all right, I'll try. And you've got to walk, do some exercise. Okay. Well, 2 days later, he was smoking again.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yep. So he had another heart attack. And he was telling me the doctors really reamed him out and all that. Blah, 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 blah. Went right back on the cigarettes again.
Yep.
And to prove there's some validity in the third time never fails, He went back on the cigarettes after the third heart attack and dropped dead.
Yeah, yeah. This book told about examples of people that with, I don't know, lung cancer or some of the cancer, whatever it was, where they have to have a breathing tube installed. They would take a cigarette and stick it in that breathing tube to continue smoking.
Incredible.
It is.
So his son was a heavy smoker. And he told me one night, he said, you know what? He said, I could give up the booze. And he was a boozer too. He said, I could give up the booze, but I could never give up cigarettes.
Yep. There's some of the people, well, they'll die without that cigarette.
And I've had smokers say to me, well, it gives you a high.
It does kind of.
Yeah.
There's something about it. You remember Pavlov, the
Oh, yeah.
he had the dog, and every time the
Ding,
bell would
ding.
ring, and the dog would salivate because he was used to getting food. Well, they said sort of that response. You got the same response with smokers. With me, it was a phone. If that phone rang and I go start talking on the phone, I had to light a cigarette. It was just they were just associated with each other, and sometimes they didn't want the cigarette.
I have talked to people that have told me, hey, listen, I've woken up in the middle of the night and lit a cigarette.
Oh yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Had to do it. Otherwise, I couldn't go back to sleep.
Yep.
Wow.
It's been, let's see, it's been 40, 80, 20, 20, 2000, what is it, 2000, 45 years since I've had a cigarette.
Well, it's been,
I think I kicked it by now.
yeah, 25, 28 years since I've had a drink.
Yeah.
Doctor told me,
Oh yeah, we get
he
some-
said, keep drinking, Bill, and your new doctor will bury you. It's because I'm not going to work with you if you keep
yeah,
drinking.
keep doing it.
I sort of brought it all into focus.
Well, that's why they used, I don't know if they still do. At one point, you couldn't get on a liver transplant waiting list if you were a drinker and had cirrhosis of the liver. They just wouldn't put you on it because they knew damn well you got the new liver, you're going to start drinking again.
Yeah. Yeah.
The addictions are a very, very powerful thing. But some, I think, and I admit, I think I have an addictive personality. Some people don't. I had a salesman of one of mine. We could go out. We used to go out on weekends and stuff together, his wife and mine. He'd buy a pack of cigarettes and he'd smoke. I said, you don't smoke otherwise? He says, no. He says, I just use them for the weekend, and the last one, and I just won't eat. Really go out again, maybe then, maybe do, maybe not. He just didn't develop that addictive type thing. Christ, I said, to me, 2 days of doing that, and I'd had a habit so strong I couldn't break it.
Yeah.
But to him, it didn't function like that with him.
Yeah. And alcohol is addictive too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Jeepers. There was a guy that used to hit a local bar every Friday night. He'd come in about 8 o'clock, sit on the stool at the bar, and drink, maybe get up and go to the men's room, come back, drink some more, and drink until he fell off the stool. And they had to pick him up and then take him home.
That was a signal. He
Yeah.
fell off the stool. Huh?
Yeah, and he'd what? He'd just fall off the stool or collapse. That I don't know. There's not much fun in that.
No, there's not. But I bet he tells himself, I'm not going to do that this Friday night. And he ends up doing it anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I know. Unbelievable.
You can justify stuff if you got like an addiction or some real strong habit. your mind can justify just about anything.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, but I'll do it just now, but I'm not, I'll just do a little bit. Then a little bit
This will
more.
be the last time.
Yeah, it'll be the last time, yeah.
Yeah.
That's another one.
Ah, boy.
But I came from, well, I had an uncle that smoked. But then I came from a family of non-smokers, so I don't know where I got the idea that it was, I'm not even sure how I started. Would have been something.
Because it was a thing to do.
Yeah,
You
in those
know,
days. Have
I'm
you-
a big guy now.
And plus, have you noticed, like that On Patrol Live, they do go to a lot of, let's
Family
say, southern
skirmishes.
huh?
Family skirmishes.
skirmishes and a lot of southern settings. They will walk into a house, and every damn one of them's got a cigarette in their hand.
Yeah.
They must, that South Carolina group must, in Florida, they must, every one of them smoke.
I know. I know. It's
I don't know if it's just that group, that section that they're in, or is it the,
I think it's that culture.
yeah.
I think.
Another-
They also chew.
Yeah, oh yeah.
They get a chaw going.
It's all going, you can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another one that I was surprised how rough Toledo is.
Yeah.
They get that one cops in Toledo. They're always going in. It looked like the same neighborhoods because the houses are all built the same.
Betcha it is the same neighborhood.
Oh yeah, I mean over and over and over.
Yeah. It's an interesting show.
Yeah, there's one that Styx is on.
Yeah.
He's got it's On Patrol Live, or it's just
Yeah.
OP. Or,
Something.
yeah, it's a little different, not much, but it's
The new set of
it's not. I don't think it's live. His is not live because they're taking it off of body cameras and
Okay.
different stuff.
the one I was looking at the other night. Lost what I was going to say. But it seems to me that if you to use my wife's remark, you've seen one, you've seen them all.
It's kind of right. There
Yeah,
are certain-
it is. Chases and arguments in a convenience store and arguments among the family members.
Yep. Oh my God! Some of them family members, they're so dysfunctional.
I say to myself, what is it about the American educational system that is failing these people?
Folks, we're talking about a TV program. I don't know if you ever watch it. It's on a station called, or network called Reels, Reelz. And on Comcast, it's 1429, I think. And it comes on, well, it's on a lot, but it's on Friday night and Saturday night live from 9 o'clock to midnight. And what they do, they got about 8 to 10 different police and sheriff's places across the country. And it's like going on a ride along with them.
Yeah.
And well, we got to go here. We got something going, and they'll switch over to Toledo, Ohio, or to
South Carolina is
South
always
Carolina
good.
a lot. Yeah,
And Florida.
and Florida too.
Northern Florida, up in redneck territory.
You'll see, you'll see a whole new Florida. You think of Florida as Miami Beach and Fort Lauderdale and the nice beaches and condos, and you're going to see some ratty-looking trailers and backwoods.
South Carolina leads the nation in the number of people living in mobile homes.
I don't doubt that.
And traveling through South Carolina, I believe that. That just is. That just strings of them. But on patrol, folks, if you want to catch a little bit of Americana, turn into 1429
Yeah,
and watch it. Yeah, beware, you may get hooked.
yeah, you may, but it is eye-opening, particularly for somebody living in New England. And
Oh,
that's-
yeah.
that's-
Well, you say to yourself, I've lived here all my life. Is that part of America? Mm-hmm. I mean,
Although I suspect you could take one of these programs and stick it in, I don't know, Brockton, someplace in Rhode Island. What's the one down there that always has trouble?
Pawtucket or
No,
Woonsocket.
Woonsocket, Pawtucket, but there's another, oh crap, that's where most of their crime is done.
Oh, yeah, Providence.
Yeah, it's right outside of
yeah.
Providence there. You could concentrate on them areas too, and they would look like that. Now they do a lot in Toledo. Now, if you watch that program, you think Toledo is just this neighborhood where these houses are stacked next to each other, and every weekend they're one family is shooting at the family across the street, and somebody else is beating up somebody on the head. It just goes on and on. But it looks like they're going back to the same neighborhood all the time.
That's where it's happening.
That's where it's happening.
And you know, people complain about, well, certain ethnicities appear to be the criminals over and over and over. But the police are being called to emergencies, and they're the ones that are doing the crimes.
That's right. They're not
So what
picking
are
and
they supposed
choosing
to
there.
do?
That's right.
Turn around and leave? Well, can't do that, yeah.
Now, on the other side of the spectrum on this program, they go to Humboldt, California, and it is very California. The cop cars are all very neat and very clean, and the uniforms of these guys are perfect, and they, yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, and it's just by the book. And they don't have one cop show up to a thing. If it's 3, 5, 8, one night there was 8 or 9 cars for a minor accident. They must have massive police forces and equipment.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like Norfolk. If there's an incident, there's at least 3 cars there.
Oh yeah, no,
Well, because, guess why? Because nothing else happens.
nothing
in
else is
Norfolk.
happening.
Yeah.
That's the, fortunately.
What is your favorite Hillary Clinton quotation? Now, I have 4 to pick from.
Go ahead. I'm not even sure I know. I probably heard them. I couldn't pick one.
Blaming everything on the vast right-wing
Oh
conspiracy.
yeah, that was the right-wing conspiracy.
And she admitted they made that up, but we had to have something to say. I don't know how I made $100,000 in pork futures, pork bellies.
Oh yeah, that's right. She invested $18 or some
Yeah,
stupid thing.
yeah. When asked how she will deal with Iran, she huffed up and said, "We will engage them." Or number 4, Bill, what on earth are you doing with that intern?
Yeah. What's that spot on that blue dress?
So we had a little do here in town. We had an election, not an election, but a vote by,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
It was. I couldn't believe it. I
Yeah.
figured. I opened that Sun Chronicle the next day. What was on Saturday, wasn't it? Yeah.
The vote was on, Tuesday.
Was it?
Was
Yeah.
Monday or Tuesday?
Whatever what day it
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
It wouldn't have been Saturday because the Chronicle doesn't come out the next day on Sunday. But I open it up and it says Norfolk voters reject override. I know they must have had that mixed up. I read it and I said, my God, you won't believe what's in the paper. What? I said, the override. She said, how bad did it get beat? Or how bad, but should it pass by? I said, it didn't. She come down, she said, no, can't be. This is Norfolk. They never seen one they don't like.
Almost a 2-to-1 margin. they
Yeah,
defeated
1,200
it.
to 600.
Yeah.
Of course, we were walking out of this school over there, and there are people walking in. I said, well, we just canceled out those 2s. Yeah, we just canceled out those 2's votes. Because, the schooly type people, they were there for the...
Yeah. But the interesting thing, Dwayne, is the school people didn't show up
That's right.
for this.
They didn't.
Because if they had showed up for this, it would have been reversed.
Oh, absolutely. That's
Yeah.
why. That's what I always said. They're very well organized sometimes in these
But
things.
the school people got their tax bills recently, and the taxes just keep on going up in this town.
They do.
At the most ridiculous level. Norfolk does not have a tax problem; they get a spending
Spending
problem.
problem.
And to spend, well, $4 million for plans that
Yeah,
a high
that's-
school geometry major
That's just absurd.
yeah, you could get a kid that is in, what was it, mechanical drawing or something like that could have designed it if you gave them,
What do you
Couple of
need to
$100 bucks.
design a classroom? It's a square. It's got a floor, wall, ceilings, so many windows, ventilation system coming in, water, and whatever they need to come in with it. And that's it. They've done it
Going.
1,000 times.
they've done it 1,000 times is right. So there's cookie cutter additions
Yep.
available all over the place with all the paperwork all
All
done.
done.
No, no, no.
Well, you could even add a few thousand and put a different window in it or
Yeah.
something if you have to be different.
Yeah, you're right. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's insanity. But we don't do this. We don't do this in Norfolk. Mercy.
Just like when they put the bricks in on the circular here.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't know that you couldn't drive on those kind of bricks.
Yeah,
Hey, Foxborough knew.
yeah. I mean, it's just, it goes on and on and on.
Foxborough poured brick-colored concrete and then cut the lines in to make them look like bricks. Oh, we can't do that. We have to have real bricks.
Yeah, I'm telling you. 53% of the voters polled nationally say they expect the economy to improve this year. I think Trump is going to have a honeymoon that's going to last a goodly portion of this year. But then there's going to be some realities
Yeah,
that are
I'll
going to
tell you,
set in too.
One of them is going to come back and bite him, and that's grocery prices. When he promised over and over and over in the campaign, day one, I'm cutting these grocery prices, something going to be half. Absolutely, no question about it. People are waiting for those grocery prices to come down. Now he's saying backing off and saying, well, you know, it's hard to make them come down.
Exaggeration is a problem
Yeah.
the lad has. But
Some of the things that he just walks into some of these because he doesn't think about what he's saying. That thing with USAID, for example. Now, I worked with USAID, and I don't agree with him and Elon Musk. I gotta rephrase that. I worked a long time ago with USAID. I don't know what USAID has done in the past 45 years. But I see this stuff going around the country, and it's pretty much, I think, run like it used to be. And they were very effective. They called it soft selling America, and even my day. And you could get things done that way because these people reacted to the things that they were getting because they were getting things they really needed. Now, I'm going to disclose something, and I'm sure it's gone. But if not, I didn't say this.
oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, well, I'm glad that we get that
Back in the
straightened out.
day when I was an intelligence officer and I was embedded with 5th Special Forces on a B team, we used USAID for barter, I should call it. We worked with the Montagnards. Montagnards are the like mountain people, it would translate it from French, they were the mountain people. They were primitive, hardworking, fierce. The Special Forces people would give them a list of people they wanted to disappear. In
And
3
then
days, they were gone.
Yeah,
We don't know what happened to them, but you didn't ask
that's
either.
right.
Montagnards had no use for money. You couldn't. You could walk up to them and give you $50,000 to do it. They wouldn't look. They'd have got no use for it. Give them a pig or 100 kilos of rice. That's a different story.
Sure.
Where do you think we got the rice and the pigs and stuff from? USAID.
USAID.
They knew where that was going and how it became a barter thing. And it was flown in by, who do you think flew it in?
U.S. Air Force.
USA, Air America.
Okay.
We know who they are. They're CIA. And so were USAID at some point. They were, but it worked. You got things done with them. And if you wanted something, there was not a 6-month delay. It was 2-3 days, you'd have it. They're ready to do it. And my first experience with them, I screwed up.
Uh-oh.
And I heard about it for 6 months afterwards. I don't remember what we were trying to get that Montagnard group to do, but one of the bargainings was 1,000 kilos is what? No, it must have been 500.
A whole bunch.
About 1,000 pounds of rice, and they were in 200-pound. I remember 200-pound, 100-kilo bags. They were heavy. They were 212 pounds, and maybe there was more than that. But dumbass here did not know. You don't just take rice, put it in a bag, and use it. It has to be milled. I didn't know that.
I didn't know it either.
I had no idea. I thought rice just came out of a rice paddy.
Yeah.
They'd shell it and shuck it or whatever they do it, put it in a bag, and off it went. No, it's got to go through a process where they mill off the hard outside to get, because the rice you see now is inside.
Yeah.
Of course, now this Montagnard village gets 1,000 pounds of rice they can't use. So then now I got to go back to USAID, to Air America to get somebody to pick it up. And how are we going to get it loaded? Well, they loaded it for us, but it was just a big mess. And it was like, how could you be so stupid? I said, well, I don't know. I never
Comes
saw.
naturally.
I never saw rice before, except to come out of a box.
Yeah. What I know about rice is I like rice pudding.
And they always reminded me, if I ever had another rice thing, you want it milled, right? It's just very funny. Yes, I do.
We learn tough lessons.
Oh, yeah. But, I was a 23-year-old, 24-year-old kid. I didn't know anything about that stuff.
That's right. And you shouldn't be expected to know. They don't major in rice up in Wisconsin.
No, God, no.
That's not a farm deal up there.
They don't even raise much rice around there. But USAID was a very effective soft sell in America. They did not push ideologies. They just did what they said they were going to do, and they could supply life-saving type materials. And they're like, Trump said somebody they were supplying $50 million worth of condoms to South Sudan or someplace. Well, the next day he says it's $100 million. And I saw an article on that, and it said that who's the condom big one, Trojan. Trojan has given us an estimate that it costs 5.1 cents to make a condom. So he says, do the math. He says, that's a lot of condoms, 50 or $100 million worth. But it's just one of them stories that got started, and he heard it and he said it.
Yeah. And there was a lot of those stories going around too, because there was one of them was I forget how much money they gave Serbia to produce a transvestite opera.
Okay, yep.
Now there's something, I mean, God almighty, who's checking this stuff,
But even in the past, I don't know if USAID had this, but it was, now you got me stuck on condoms here. But back in World War II,
Yep.
we shipped condoms on like a Lend-Lease type thing for Russia. And somebody got the bright idea, label them all extra small. So when the Russians got them, they'd look at these great things and it's extra small. Never trust GIs.
Mind games.
Yeah, never trust GIs not to play some kind of game.
Yeah. But that's what makes America great.
Yeah,
We do things on the fly.
creativity too. Yeah.
Now, just in case you think that Apple is underpaying Tim Cook,
Oh, I doubt that very much.
Tim Cook's total salary for 2024, $74,609,802.
Unbelievable.
Yep. Now, under him is 4 vice presidents. Okay, now he's making almost 75 million. The 4 vice presidents are all making the exact same amount of money, $27,179.
It is truly amazing. Now this is Apple.
Apple.
You look at that and you say, no wonder a little cell phone they're putting out is $1,500. It's stuff like this.
Yeah, yeah. You know, we've got the greatest system in the world, free enterprise, but there's something that jumps out at me that's obscene about this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so 74 million. So if you worked for 1 year, you'd have enough money for the rest of your life and probably 6 or 7 lives thereafter.
Yep, your kids,
Yeah.
your grandkids, probably great grandkids would never have to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
I don't either. I don't understand why some people are worth so much money when their performance is not up to standard.
They're not worth that money.
They're not.
But
because I remember one
that's
time
their pay.
we had just come from Disney, and we used to go to Disney relatively often, every year or two. And I don't remember who the president was, but he lost a crap load of money. And in those days, they were giving him $7 million or $8 million for losing millions. I thought, I'd lose that millions for half that salary. You don't have to pay him that much money.
Supposing I give you a poster boy for stupidity. Here is
Who we got?
Terry Rozier, who played for the for the Celtics.
Celtics, yeah.
Yeah. So Celtics had some guards. Somebody had to go, and they traded Terry down to the team in Charlotte.
Hornets.
The Hornets.
Yeah.
So Terry signed a $96 million 4-year contract. Now, unless my math skills are failing, that's 24 mil a year. Now, what do you suppose Terry did?
I have no idea.
With making 24 mil a year, he gets hooked into a gambling
Oh, yeah,
deal.
yeah. And then risk that whole...
Well, he's lost it now
Yeah, okay.
because they pulled the plug on him.
Yep.
But can you imagine being so stupid? You're making 24 million that, what did he gamble? 50 grand or something like that?
Yeah.
So he risked
Yeah.
$24 million against winning $75,000 or $100,000. But he did it with
Just-
partners with somebody else.
Just don't think.
No,
Don't think at all.
I cannot believe how stupid that is.
Well, it goes on and we'll go back to the game last night. There was an incident where the play would have been over, and didn't one of Kansas City's players come up and hit the guy in the back? Unnecessary roughness. Play is all over, and it gave them another first down, and I think they scored after that another.
Yeah.
And you could see the coach, or they showed him on the sideline. He's just pounding the ground. He's so mad. You'd think a player making that many millions of dollars in that kind of a game would say, no, I'm not going to do that. Just because I'm mad at this guy or something. But they do it.
So the Eagles upset the Kansas City Chiefs. You don't suppose there was any gambling going on?
No, there's no gambling in sports.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. Sports is a wonderful thing. It provides entertainment for vast millions of people.
Yes, it does.
But I'll tell you what, gambling has the possibility of taking a lot of the fun out of it if they start arresting people.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Because I believe where there's monies involved, there are people that are scheming.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Sometimes they're not terribly bright. What you got?
Well, I think we should just at least touch on this.
All right.
Bill brought this to my attention, and at the same time, I got it in the mailbox, and you all got one. Official town business. They want to take your electric sourcing and give it to somebody else. Now, why do I have a problem with this? Because of the way it's being done. They're not asking you to go ahead and sign up for somebody else. They're asking you just to throw this away, because if you don't send back a card, they're going to sign you up. Now, I thought that was what kind of business went out with the old record club. Mm-hmm. You'd get 7 records for $9.99.
Or the old book club.
Old book club.
Yeah.
And then every 20 days, you'd get a card in the mail for another album. If you didn't grab that card, get it back in the mail quick, you got the album. Then
And got charged for it.
Oh, absolutely. You got charged shipping, you got charged handling, everything. By the time you got that one straightened out, there was another card come in, the kids threw it in the wastebasket. You got another one coming. That's the same kind of setup. That's this thing with the, I'm not saying that the electricity rate's any better or any worse. I'm just saying this is not how you go about doing business.
It's the opt-out.
That's right,
And
the
that
opt-out.
is
You got
not-
opt-in, not opt-out.
That's right.
And whoever set this up should be ashamed of themselves. Now, following up, today's Globe. Today is 8th, 9th, 10th? 10th.
That's
Yeah,
one of those days.
That's right.
Yeah.
10th of February. Today's Globe.
the
This morning
11th.
Globe.
No, it is a 10th. You're
It's the
right.
10th. It says, third-party electricity customers overcharge. This is a third party. The secondary headlines on the page 4, third-party electricity suppliers overcharge Mass residents, report fines. Read this. Read this report that the Globe put out today before you make a decision here.
I'm not sure that you have any time left.
So you got 10 days.
10 more days?
20th of February.
Okay.
I'm not saying do it. I'm not saying don't do it. But make an intelligent decision. Read what the other people have come across using third-party electrical suppliers.
Sure, they can cut the profit. They can undercut your regular Eversource
Great.
rate. Okay, they can undercut that by 10%, but that's only for a finite amount of time, and then it goes back up again. So, you were on a roll there, bud.
I was, and I don't know where we left off.
All right, I'll give you one. Recruitment into the Army is at a 15-year high.
That's where we were, yeah.
Well, now guess how that was accomplished?
I'm not sure what that would cause. What caused that?
They cut the bogey down.
Oh, okay. That does it, yeah.
Yep. So, in other words, folks, if it had been like 25,000 enrollees a month, they cut it back to 15,000 enrollees a month.
And then if they met the goal, and they were, lucky us.
there you
yeah,
go.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
But it was getting pathetic, though, with how few the youth of America could qualify to get into the military.
28% could pass the
Yeah.
physical.
And or the mental.
Yeah.
But that would used to be almost a place of last resort.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What else you got, buddy?
Oh, let's see here. Oh, we were warned this morning that you probably should not be eating your eggs runny for a while. Now, I happen to like eggs, and I want my yolks runny.
Yeah,
The
you
white
dip the toast in
Yeah,
it.
exactly. The white can even be a little shaky. Well, I live with a woman who thinks that's terrible.
Obscene.
Oh, eggs got to be cooked
Hard.
so hard you could bounce them off the wall. But her whole family ate them that way. So to me, had to say, see, now they're saying they're dangerous. I says, yeah, but that's only temporary. That's because of H5N1 is showing up, and they think that it could be spread through undercooked eggs, among other things. But the big spread onto these things, it's getting to the cattle, believe it or not, is from wild birds flying over,
Bombs away.
bombs away, and it doesn't take much in to hit where the cattle eat and stuff. Then they're picking it up. Now it is getting into some of the humans. I don't know what's going to happen to this, but
This is shaky stuff.
yeah, and I don't want RFK Jr. in charge
Yeah.
of something like this. That's good.
He's the one person or two people so far that I would not have voted for.
Who's the other one?
Uh,
Gates.
somebody that withdrew.
Gates withdrew.
Yeah, Gates withdrew right away.
Right away. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember who it was.
Here's an interesting thing here, Dwayne. The U.S. Appeals Court held up the ruling handed down by the judges. They said that the court found that people aged 18 to 20 should not be prohibited from buying guns. There was a move afoot in Louisiana to raise the age to 21 to buy a gun.
Yeah.
It had been 18, and Louisiana filed an appeal, and the appeals court ruled, no, 18 was fine. Got any thoughts on that?
I'm not anti-gun. I'm not pro-gun. I'm pro-gun in the right position, but I don't think we control that stuff enough, because you just watch those cop shows, for Christ's sake. They pull out 4 kids in a car.
And there's 5 guns in
Yeah,
the
5
car.
guns with big magazines on them. Well, they're not going out shooting bottles. They're going.
No.
Those are for shooting people.
Absolutely. Those are killing machines.
That's right. And I don't think that an 18-year-old punk should be having a pistol.
I agree with you totally. An 18-year-old punk shouldn't. But how about farm kids that are raised with guns?
Yeah, but they don't go rocking around packing them, though.
You're right. You're right. So how we're going to have a rule that says if you're a good 18-year-old, you can buy a gun.
That's-
but if you're a
that's-
bad
That's a good
18-year-old,
point. That's a very good point. But I don't think that the right to carry that weapon is equal to the right to somebody getting killed with it.
yeah. Now we'll split a hair. Really split a hair. I think the right to buy a gun is different than the right to carry a concealed weapon.
Yes, it is.
And if you said to me, you got to be 21 to have a concealed weapon permit, I'd be more amenable to that.
I agree with that.
But a kid that lives on a farm and
To buy it? No.
yep, and his dad has been taking him hunting since he was 12, and they appreciate what a gun is, and they appreciate the damage a gun can do.
Oh yeah. Oh, my son went deer hunting this year for the first time.
Oh, really?
He was in Madison for some of the business that he's in, and then my cousins are all deer hunters, so they invited him to come on up and hunt with 2 different parties. All right, 10 minutes, and of course he had never been deer hunting before. And I said, "Well, you going to go back next year and buy a license?" And I don't know. He says, "Deer hunting seems to be secondary on their list." I said, "Why?" He says, "Well, they got these houses that are raised up off the ground about 12, 15 feet, and they got little shooting panels in them. They got this, they got that." He says, "But they also got radios, TVs, booze cabinets." He said, "It's more of a party than it is," and I know it is.
Yeah, I don't think that's such a good idea.
I don't either. I warned him when I said, when you go up there, I said, they mix booze and guns in that part of the country. And some of them are more serious at hunting than others. But they didn't get anything. He said he was only there 2 days, and he said some were way out too far, and a couple of them were just too small.
Yeah. I don't like the idea of killing a deer to kill a deer.
No, I don't either. If you're not going to eat it,
Yeah.
don't kill it.
Now, if you bring it in, you get it weighed, and you have your picture taken with it, and right away it goes to an agency that is going to use it to feed the homeless and the poor and all, that's fine.
I've had a couple in my yard where they come in. Hillary Cohen would show the animal control. They'd show up, and that last one was a big buck, and she said, "I can't. He has to be dispatched." She called the PD, and a couple of cars came out, and he had trouble shooting it with his 9mm pistol. It was even that, it just didn't have enough power. He had to kill it 3, 4 times, or he hit it 3, 4 times. But he said to me, or she said, it dies in your yard. She says, you have control over this animal's carcass, whatever you want. She said, you don't have to take it. She said, but if you want it, it's yours. I said, "No, I don't want it." She said, "Well, it's okay." She said, "I got a list of people. This one wants this one, and then the next one's on the list."
Yeah.
And she said, in this case, she said, it's got a big, huge rack on it. She said, "I got some people that just want a rack, and they will take that, and there's one who wants some meat." And about 25 minutes after she left, two guys with a pickup showed up, backed in the backyard, or backed up, and then tied a rope around it and dragged it, threw it in the pickup, and off they went. I said, "Well, God love them. I sure don't want the damn thing."
Yeah, yeah. I don't, trophy hunting is not my bag.
And I like venison, but I had a big surprise here, and I shouldn't have been surprised, but I was. The venison tastes different parts of the country.
Depends on what they're eating.
That's exactly what it is. They are what they eat.
Yeah.
And here they dine on things like pine needles and oak leaves and acorns and twigs and all kinds. Out in the Midwest, they're eating on the fields. They're eating corn and oats and hay fields and
Good stuff.
good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. My cousins that are the deer hunters that Craig dealt with, they even plant stuff for them.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Absolutely.
They had a radish. I never knew they liked radishes. The last time we were out there, they must have had 10 acres of just radishes.
They like apples, too.
Yeah, apple's another one, yep.
Patrick and I went out to lunch Saturday at Nicky's restaurant there in Rentham. And we came back, and because the bridge is out there in City Mills, we had to take a right onto Grove Street.
Okay.
Park Street to Grove Street. All right. Immediately as you take that right, it's woods on the right. There's no houses right there.
Five.
And it goes back quite a ways. And Patrick said, "Stop." And I said, "What?" He said, "There's a deer back there." Wait a minute, there's 2. So there's a car coming. So I drove down to the next street, did a U-turn, came back, and then parked up almost onto the bridge. They're right there. And we walked back down. There was 5 deer there.
Yep.
And their coloring, camouflage, they're dark. And 4 does, 1 big doe, 3 small does,
They were last year's
yep,
fawns.
and a spike-horn buck.
Yep. He was probably a fawn last year too.
Yep. And it was beautiful to see. And we were just standing there, not making any noise, nothing. And evidently they got a whiff of us.
Yeah,
I
okay.
mean, we were like, probably 75 yards away. And off they
Our
went.
deer here per deer is probably 25 to 30% smaller
Yeah.
than the upper Midwest areas where
No,
they.
wouldn't, not as much feed.
That's right.
Yeah, and
Although-
lower quality.
In August, when Monica's sister and brother-in-law were here, we had one in the backyard. And he, like Wayne said, he said, that small buck has got the biggest rack I've ever seen. It was, honest God, Bill, it was like his. It looked like a moose, but the deer was not that big,
Yeah.
so it didn't look. But he said, that is one big rack on that thing.
What are they called? They're not odd racks, but there's some other name for them, where they are not common
Oh, yeah, yeah.
types. Harley Davidson, now you would think, or I've always thought of them, as an inflation-proof company. That there's always going to be a demand. They don't oversupply the marketplace, and they're smart about it. Guess what? Business is off. Motorcycle business is off.
Really?
Yeah.
Boy, you couldn't tell around here come spring.
And they say that it could fall as much as 5% this coming year.
Are they is it the whole industry or just Harley?
Just them, I guess. Well, that's all they could talk about. They had one of these meetings with the analysts, and they've cut production.
Because I live on 115, and they come off of 140 or Route 1, and they hit that stretch going up towards the medical center, and they punch it, a lot of them. And some of those crotch rockets, unbelievable, the
Yeah.
noise they make.
I don't know. I don't understand it all.
And the price, have you ever looked at how much those things cost?
Yeah. It was another. Okay, it was another article I read, but yeah. Well, here's some of the light bucks,
Yeah.
bikes. 9,000, 10,000,
Oh, that's chicken feed. Yeah.
12,000.
We park next to I forgot what they call them. Okay, they're 3-wheelers.
Oh yeah,
But the drive wheels in the back, and the 2
grand.
up here.
30 grand.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
So we parked one at next to Plain Ridge, all dialed out and stuff. And she says, well, what is that thing? I said, well, it's a motorcycle, but it's kind of like a car. And I said, you know that is probably close to the price of the Lexus that's on the other row.
Yeah.
She said, you got to be kidding me. I said, no, it's $32,000 for one of those things.
Now there was a Stradivarius
Oh boy, yeah.
violin.
That
Now the bidder has not been revealed.
Oh,
now
really?
was that you? It sold for 11.3 million.
don't say that. You know,
Boy, I shouldn't
I
have said.
can't keep it anyplace now because they're going to know I got it. Yeah, they thought there was going to be between what 4, 5,
Yeah.
4.5 or
Yeah.
5, $11 million for that thing.
Unbelievable.
I think we got the time to go. We got the one here.
All right. All right. What percentage of the U.S. workforce is unionized?
8,
9.9.
9, 9.9.
But
It's
do you
not a
hear
lot.
do you hear them blasting their yaps off?
Oh my God! You
that
think it was 99?
Yeah, you'd think they're the tail that wags the dog.
Yep.
Well, folks, it's been fun.
Good
back
seeing you
here
again.
in Norfolk. And we look forward to seeing you again. And we'll get this show on a regular basis again so that you can enjoy
I got
your
one request,
favorite
though.
program.
And this is for you skiers. Stop praying for snow.
Yeah,
We've had enough.
we're going to get some more. But I think watching the Weather Channel this morning, I don't think it's going to be too bad.
No more No more snow prayers.
That's right. We've had enough. All right, folks. See
Stay
you next
safe.
time.
Stay warm.